Next on a jam-packed episode of The Broadway Show, it's the mother of all the new Broadway plays. I'm sitting down with the star of Mother Play, Jessica Lange.
What would I do if I could feel?
An exclusive musical performance from one of the stars of The Wiz, Philip Johnson Richardson. And Broadway shows don't get any bigger than this. It's The Great Gatsby. We're going to meet the designer of the musical's incredible costumes. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is The Broadway Show. The road to the Tony Awards starts right now, and that means a ton of big-time Broadway openings, and we're celebrating every one of them. I'm Tamsen Fadal. It's Suffs, the epic and timely musical about the 1913 women's suffrage movement. With a powerhouse producing team, Suffs features a book, music, and lyrics by Shaina Taub. We hit the red carpet with the stars opening night.
First of all, it's an original written by a young woman who understood how important it was that this story be told. She has written the book, the music, the lyrics, she's starring in it. I mean, that hasn't been done in 50 years on Broadway, to have a woman achieve what she has. But the story, even though it's about our past, is really relevant to today. When you see how hard these women worked to amend our Constitution so that women could vote, I think it helps remind us how important it is that we keep voting, to keep faith with those who came before.
I'm really excited for young people to come and see it, because I believe that for young people it's an incredible opportunity to learn about the struggles that have already happened, to give them what they are enjoying today, the right to vote, the right to work. But still, it's an opportunity for them to reflect on what are the challenges that women and girls still face.
It's for the audiences. I really just hope that we can inspire people and get people excited about voting again. I hope that they leave just fired up to take action for whatever issue they care about, and also that they feel like they want to get together with their friends and take on a challenge.
Jessica Lange is an icon, a Triple Crown winning actor, Oscars, Emmys, a Tony. She's awesome. And she's back on the Broadway stage in Mother Play. I had a chance to chat with Jessica Lange. Well, we'll just jump right in, because I know we're right down the hallway from where you've been rehearsing.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about coming back to Broadway.
I'm really excited about it. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I've missed being on stage. It's been about, I guess, 7 years. I can't believe that much time has passed since we did Long Day's Journey into Night. But it's a new experience for me, because I've never done a brand new play before, and that has been thrilling.
What makes that different from doing something that would be a revival? I mean, this is all new, I guess no expectation of the audience, right?
Well, I mean, it's going to be a absolutely brand new story. I mean, I've done the American classics basically on stage. Streetcar Named Desire, Glass Menagerie, Long Day's Journey into Night. It will be creating something nobody's seen before. There'll be no way to compare it to anything. So that in itself it's an exciting, it's exciting.
What do you miss about the stage when you come back? Because I know it's such a commitment of work.
For me, it's the community. It's that idea of being on stage. There's an audience there. There's this common experience that you're having, which obviously with film is very different. The idea that each day is different. Every performance is a new experience, no matter how many times you do it. There's something, it's alive. It keeps every performance, every day, there's new discovery. It's a living, breathing thing.
Let's talk about the premise of the play and what it's about and what people can expect from you and your co-stars. It's got a great cast.
I'm thrilled to be working with Celia and Jim. I love them both. The play is a family play. It follows them through 4 decades of their lives together. You see the children growing. You see everybody aging, which in itself is an interesting experience, because unlike film, where you do so much of that through makeup, hair, prosthetics, whatever. I mean, when I was doing Grey Gardens. You know, I'd be in the makeup chair sometimes for 4 hours in the morning before we'd ever shoot, because there would be prosthetics, there'd be the wig, there'd be this and that. And this is completely different in the sense that it really is, you're doing it through movement, you're doing it through energy level, you're doing it through voice. And I mean, obviously you do that also on film, but you don't have the added makeup and hair and everything else. So.
No, it's all on you to go through those different stages. What are the complexities of that? Because I have to imagine, when we're talking 4 decades, and if I go back to think about myself 2 decades ago, it was very different.
Yeah, well, that's part of the discovery. I mean, I haven't arrived at it quite yet, exactly. The specifics of it, but it's very exciting.
Want to see more of my interview? Head over to Broadway.com for an extended cut. Another big-time Broadway opening to tell you about. Welcome to Cabaret at the Kit Kat Club. It's sexy, it's sinister, it's a visionary new revival of the classic Broadway musical, direct from London's West End. And you can't afford to miss it. We caught up with the stars at the opening.
For me, this piece, Cabaret, means so much. It's the piece of theatre that I fell in love with theatre, seeing and being a part of, and the fact that I get to do it here in New York, on Broadway, for a British actor, that's the stuff that dreams are made of.
I'm so excited. I love playing Sally. I love playing Sally. I hope that they fall in love with her. I hope that they see her. I hope they listen to her and re-examine their relationship with her prior. That's all. And just meet her in the present.
Our dream is that for an evening out, from the second you step over the threshold down this back alley into our space, into our home at the Kit Kat Club, it feels unlike an experience you've ever had before, and that you are all consumed by it and subsumed by it, and then we get to serve the extraordinary piece by Kanda, Ebb and Masteroff, and which I think is one of the great pieces of writing. So hopefully it will feel like an evening unlike any other.
Let's hear it for New York. The hit songs of Alicia Keys are now on Broadway, just a few blocks from where the singer-songwriter grew up. It's Hell's Kitchen.
Broadway is my backyard all my life, you know. For me, growing up in Hell's Kitchen, it was crazy because there was a lot of darkness, but there was also this possibility that I think Broadway represented. And I'm excited that the door opens for those who have been musical theater lovers their whole life to those who have never been to a Broadway show. You belong here and you're going to love it.
After all these years, Merrily We Roll Along is one of Broadway's biggest hits. It features a cast of A-list stars and longtime Broadway actors. Here's Paul Wontorek.
Katie, so good to see you.
So good to see you too.
It's a beautiful day in New York, and here we are at Lincoln Center. This is not the first place people think of when they think of Broadway.
Right.
But this might be the first place you think of when you think of Broadway.
Yes, in fact it is. This is where I made my Broadway debut, right here at the Vivian Beaumont.
I mean, you were like a week out of school, it sounds like.
Yeah, I hadn't even graduated yet. I was still in school.
You were still in school when you got cast as Clara in Light in the Piazza. It was a big hit. A little-known actress named Kelly O'Hara was playing the role. And she was leaving to do another show, and they needed a new one, right?
Yeah, exactly right. I got the job on a Friday, right here. This is so weird to be here. But on a Friday afternoon, I had my final callback. My mom was waiting over here, and I came up these stairs. And I was coming up and telling her about my last callback for the show. And that's when I got the call right there. We were standing here together. And I
right here, you found out you were going to be on Broadway.
Yeah.
Hey, look, the Broadway Theater.
The Broadway Theater.
The confusingly named Broadway Theater, right? Let's go to a Broadway Theater. It's not Broadway
At
Theater.
the Broadway Theater.
Is it true that the Broadway Theater is where you saw your first Broadway show?
Yes. And it was, in fact, Miss Saigon.
And then you got to appear in Miss Saigon many years later, the revival, which played here.
Yep.
And you got to play Ellen. So Ellen is the new wife of Chris.
Yes.
And it's a very complicated, if you haven't seen Miss Saigon, emotional roller coaster.
Very much so. I mean, that was one of the first shows that I fell in love with. And then I got to see it on Broadway with Lea Salonga, who had come back.
For the end of the run.
Yeah, and it was like 99. So anyway, I was really obsessed with Miss Saigon, and the fact that I was getting to audition for it, it was going to be in the theater where it was in the first place, was just surreal.
The Gershwin, Wicked.
Gershwin.
Have you seen this show? It's good. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
They say that it's good.
I actually expected like a Katie Rose Clarke statue here somewhere. Aren't you the longest running Glinda? Is that still the case?
That is still the case.
That's amazing.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
I mean, it wasn't all at once. It was a lot of.
No, we broke it up a little bit. But I mean, I did a long chunk in the initial.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's really a lasting and relevant story, and people connect with it.
So this is the Longacre Theater.
Yeah.
Now, and this was a sweet little musical that I think you were probably very attached to, sort of the whole experience of it. It's a special show for many people for many reasons. That was Allegiance.
Allegiance, yes. It was George Takei, Lea Salonga, Telly Liam, and it was the story of the Japanese internment during World War II, which was an incredible story that we just don't really have in our history books.
Yeah.
Right. I feel really proud to have been a part of it. Plus, I mean, as we've already talked about, Lea Salonga is my hero, so I got to sing a duet with her. This is my first originating role, and so it was a really cool experience, and it was a great, sweet, amazing group of people to really cut your teeth on that.
And look, we made it to your current Broadway home, Merrily Roll Along. I know you did it off Broadway.
Yeah.
This has turned into such a crazy hit and such a rebirth for the show, a celebration of Sondheim, great casting. You're part of an amazing cast. You played Beth. So what is it like to come here every night and do this show?
Oh, it's surreal. I mean, it's an amazing cast. I mean, I know everybody talks about the three of them, but really the entire group is amazing. And crew and everything. I mean, we just have a really good time. I count myself very lucky, and now I'm in a show that people are really loving and responding to. So, I mean, if I could do one of these every few years, that'd be just a real treat.
Another blockbuster Broadway opening to tell you about. STEREOPHONIC is rocking Broadway. It's a story of an up-and-coming rock band in the 70s on the brink of superstardom. And it features music by Arcade Fire's Will Butler.
Got my ticket to the masquerade. Soul to soul, and the money paid.
It's about a great band making a great album, and it's the same as a great artist making any great work of art. Like if you sat in a room and watched Picasso paint a painting, you'd be like, this is compelling. And it feels weird to say because I wrote the music, but it's not, I'm not acting it. I didn't build the set. I didn't do all this. I didn't write the script. So I have some objectivity, but it's as compelling as going to the Metropolitan Museum of Art and walking into the Egyptian exhibit and being like, wow, this is what art is.
There's no place like Broadway because a brand new day is finally here. The Wiz has come home, back to Broadway. The stars were out for opening night.
This is a production that means the world to our culture, to Broadway. It's an opportunity to show something very, very different. It's everything that I've aspired to be as far as a Broadway performer. And this is the show that you want to be in when you want to reflect that. So I'm thrilled, I'm excited to be here. And very proud.
I can't even imagine that people have never seen The Wiz, but if this is their first time seeing The Wiz, I think seeing it live and seeing us do it, seeing people, Dorothy, and the four of us all around the same age is such a special experience. It feels like, you seeing just four homies up there doing their thing, you know what I'm saying? So it's cool that like this may be somebody who's like 5 years old or 10 years old that look like me, doing, seeing their first time seeing The Wiz.
I truly love each one of my cast members, and I think seeing everyone put in so much work with each character has really helped to inspire me and my own character work as well.
Now here's another exclusive musical performance from the Broadway.com studio.
What would I I could suddenly feel, and no once again, that what I feel is real. I could cry, I could smile, I might lay back for a while. Tell me what would I do if I could feel? What would I do if I could reach inside of me and know how it feels to say I like what I see, then I'd be glad. They say the heart of rock and roll is still beating, and from what I've seen, I believe them.
The Heart of Rock and Roll is beating on Broadway, inspired by the chart-topping hits of Huey Lewis and the News. We hit the red carpet with the Stars opening night.
Pop rock songs, rock tunes can get the stereotype of being simple or not as highbrow, I guess, or sophisticated, or whatever word you want to use, is like a Sondheim patter song in terms of musical theater. When truth is the truth, it doesn't matter. And what Huey does is he writes from his soul, and that's what makes it so effortless to bring into a musical and so easy to act.
It's about love, and it's about commitment, and it's about, the choices we all make as we go on in life. And, our Bobby and Cassandra are right on that verge where when I started my band, I was 28, 29 years old, this band. And so is Bobby, and so is Cassandra, and so I relate to their, anxiety and their ambition and all of that, and it's just it's a love story.
Put on the green light, because Broadway shows don't get much bigger or flashier than this. It's A Great Gatsby, the amazing and extravagant new Broadway musical based on F. Scott Fitzgerald's iconic novel. Here's Beth Stevens with another edition of Building Broadway.
Thanks, Tamsen. Tony-winning costume designer Linda Cho has designed 3 shows on Broadway this season: Harmony, Doubt, and now The Great Gatsby. We're here at the Broadway Theater to see her lush designs for the new musical set in the Roaring 20s. When people think of the 1920s, I think that most people think of a flapper, and they think of a very specific silhouette.
Yes.
Were you adhering to that?
We have some of those. We have definitely the fringe skirts. Some of the things about the 20s that we think about the classic silhouette is the slim hips with the flat chest, and humans are not all built with those proportions. So just celebrating everyone's shape and saying, you know what, I know in the 20s we did the drop waist and that particular silhouette, but let's cheat. Let's give everyone a snatch waist, and let's make sure that everyone can do a big kick so that we can accommodate this amazing choreography as well. So we do all these cheats. I call it cheater 20s. Like we're doing 20s, but we're cheating in every way that I feel is necessary.
Tell me how you had your costumes integrate with the choreography and with the direction.
So seeing, for instance, there's a number called Shady, and they're dancing in trench coats. And to accommodate this idea with the swinging coats, I was thinking of bats, quite frankly. Sometimes I use flowers or animals or jewels or whatever as sources of inspiration.
And you also designed the headpieces, which have a very specific Art Deco feel.
Yes. Headpieces I've learned from various shows in the past, they have to be lightweight and they have to be secure. They're gorgeous and completely unpractical for dancing. So
right.
Those are the things that I got to put everything that I've ever wanted in a big, crazy 1920s party on stage.
Like what you just saw, there's an exclusive extended web version of this interview over at Broadway.com. This is a Broadway show, and we're back in just a few. Broadway has a new biggest fan. We got hundreds of entries in this year's contest. Now our celebrity judges have spoken. Broadway stars Casey Likes, Isabel McCalla, and Michael James Scott all watched our finalists and had a blast doing it. They got to see so many of you show off your love for Broadway. Pop on over to Broadway.com to see the celebrity judges vote and find out who won our Broadway's Biggest Fan contest. And that's going to do it for us, but for tickets, or if you want to check out extended cuts of all these interviews, head over to Broadway.com. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is The Broadway Show.